2026 order. We don't have any public comment today. Let me lead us in a word of prayer, please. Our dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. Thank you for the country. Thank you for the freedom we have today. And Father, we just ask you to lead, guide, and direct all our leaders. Give us wisdom today in this meeting. Thank you for our employees, their families, and protect them. We pray these things in Jesus' blessed name. Amen.
Amen.
Can y'all hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Approval section minutes from the July 15, 2026 Facilities Committee meeting. I have a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor? Yay. Motion carries 3-0. Second item is final deductive change order, community road, water, and sewer extensions. Mr. Klein.
All right. Commissioners, good afternoon. This is the closeout change order or final adjusting change order for our community road, water, and sewer extension project. And we're pleased to also bring the detail forward that it's actually a net savings on the project of $723,523. And that's the bulk of that is from unused items that were included in the bid for the project and in the contract, but were not used by the contractor either because they weren't needed or the contractor was able to be a little more efficient and eliminate some things. So there were some days added also as well. We do handle the days over original contract time on these final adjustment change orders to document that. They were around 100 days over the original contract as well due to weather delays and other issues. Some out of their control, final easement acquisitions, that type of thing. So anyhow, I'm happy to go through the detail on this if you'd like me to walk through it. All right, staff received the final pay application number 7 package from Hussey Bell and DeYoung, engineer of record, which included a final adjusting change order request for a deduction, $723,523. This change order documents the terms for closing out the project, including contract deductions for unused allowance amounts, days exceeding the contract time, and an allowance of delay days due to weather, unforeseen field conditions, subcontractor, and manufacturer delays. Staff held routine monthly progress meetings with the contractor during which time the schedule and progress were thoroughly reviewed. This change order will serve as the complete and final settlement of the contract. The engineer of record supporting review and recommendation letter are attached. The work completed by the contractor to date has been satisfactory and in accordance with contract requirements. One thing I'll add is we've got a couple new customers tied in out there, a couple warehouse projects off of Habersham, closing in maybe about half a dozen new customers attached and served by this improvement. And there's a following motion recommended by staff if we please the committee. Any questions?
Motion.
I move the Facilities Committee approve field adjusting change orders project time extension with an adjusted final project completion date of July 21st, 2026, and adjusted final contract amount of $2,334,284.
I'll second.
Motion is second. Are there any questions, comments?
Todd, how much of this deduction was due to us rerouting that force main not coming under community? Is that a significant part of this?
That is a portion, Mr. Burrs. That is a portion of that. I'd have to sit back and quantify that exact amount, but it did. So Mr. Burrs references we did obtain an easement and actually acquire some previously private gravity sewer that gave us a different discharge point. So we were able to shift the force mains and avoid some complications as far as getting easements from other property owners, et cetera. So yes, thank you for mentioning that. Yes, that is a part of this.
Todd, how many people have tied on and how many people can tie on?
So in all, we've had less than about a half a dozen or so. We're approaching, I think we were at 5 connected now. Commercial type projects is what we're going to obtain in this area. Total connections, Ms. Burrs, you remember how many total there was with this one? Yeah, it was
100 or so probably.
I want to say it was just over 100 commercial connections that are now made available to the existing parcel out there. there's many parcels. Some businesses take up more than one parcel. Who knows what this will open up as far as commercial opportunities.
Does anybody out there understand and tied to it now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Have we notified them?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Chairman, yeah, and it was a very visible project. The contractor got a lot of questions. Staff got a lot of questions as it was being installed, so absolutely. Even some of our vendors out there are very excited about tying on because it allows them to utilize a lot of their space. Their now septic systems and drain fields. Now they can kind of reclaim some of their property for material storage and whatnot, so.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
All right.
Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Next item is contract award, fiscal year 2017 long-term water quality monitoring. Mr. Burris.
Yes, sir. So this is part of an annual contract we do with, the company is Integrated Science and Engineering. They have been doing our watershed protection plans for many, many years. And to renew the contract with them this year is a total of $76,850. I'm happy to report that's actually a reduction of 7.8% from last year's proposal. That's because some of the additional monitoring was required last year is not included in the submittal this year. So given the long-standing relationship and the pleasure that we've had working with them and the way that this is unfolded over the years, we'd like to essentially renew the contract with Integrated Science and Engineering for the fiscal year 27 watershed protection plans in the amount of $76,850. In the scope of work on the attached work authorizations, you will see where they take samples at and then what is sampled for during each summer and winter event. They do a dry and wet weather event sampling to ensure how characteristics change.
Got a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that the Facilities Committee recommend to the full commission award a contract to Integrated Science and Engineering for the fiscal year 2027 watershed protection plans in the amount of $76,850.
I second.
Motion is second. Any questions?
This
All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you. Next item is contract award McElroy HDPE fusion machine repairs. Mr. George.
Yes, sir. So we have begun using significantly more high-density polyethylene or HDPE pipe in recent years, and we have one existing fusion machine that can fuse up to 12-inch pipe. Essentially, the way these machines work is it heats the ends of the pipe until the two sections are fused together and you have a weld between them, eliminating joints in the pipe. And as we know, joints often are where failures occur. Our existing fusion machine has been inoperable for the past several months. We requested quotes from Consolidated Pipe and Supply to repair the machine because they are the McElroy provider. And there's 3 quotes attached that total $29,145.03. Given nearly $30,000 to repair, we did request a quote to buy a new fusion machine. That was $97,000, so we are recommending repairing the existing one for $29,145.03.
Wasn't all that bad.
Wasn't all that bad once we got the new price, so.
I often come to those conclusions myself.
Exactly, yes, sir.
Okay, now I have a motion to award.
Mr. Chairman, I move Facilities Committee to recommend awarding the contract to Consolidated Pipe and Supply Company to repair the existing McElroy HDPE fusion machine in the amount of $29,145.03.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Ready? Motion carries 3-0. Thank you. Next item is contract award First Street elevated storage tank and wind rod replacements. Mr. Burris.
Yes, sir. Let's see, trying to get here. Oh, I'm supposed to have pictures, but don't have access. Anyway, so we have, we operate the First Street tank in the city of Brunswick. Wind rods on these legged tanks provide structural bracing for the tank. There appears to be some type of electrolysis that has started eroding and deteriorating the existing wind rods on this tank. There are 6 of them that are in need of replacement, and obviously with these not in great shape, this is a potential structural hazard for the tank. They're not completely worn in two yet, but they are significantly eroded. We don't want to be in a situation where those wind rods snap. So we do need to do a full rehab of this tank. However, it is necessary that we get these wind rods replaced prior to doing the full rehab of the tank. So we received quotes from 2 providers. This is very specialized work. We try to get quotes from local fabrication shops, but given the elevated nature of where the wind rods are at, they did not want to quote this. So our lowest price quote was from Southern Corrosion with a price of $73,000 to repair these wind rods. The other quote was over $100,000. So the request is that we move forward with a contract to Southern Corrosion to replace 6 wind rods in the amount of $73,000.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I move that the Facilities Committee recommend awarding the contract to Southern Corrosion for the replacement of 6 wind rods at the First Street elevated storage tank in the amount of $73,000.
I second.
Second. Motion and second. Are there any questions?
I will have pictures tomorrow. They're on the server, but I don't have access to that server on this computer, so I'll make sure we have those for tomorrow to show you. But this is the Google Street View. These wind rods are the small diameter metal rods that connect the legged tank together. So there's some, about, like I said, 6 of them that are almost deteriorated into.
How many legs on that tank? 5?
3.
8?
Yeah, I think I'm seeing 8. 2 of them are pretty well hidden, but
Yeah, pretty sure there's 8, yes, sir.
And each leg has two tie rods, right?
That's correct, yes, sir.
Did our tank inspector recommend this?
Yes,
The fellow in Alabama?
yes, sir. Mr. Chapman, yes, he has noted this on his most recent inspection of the tank.
Did he say we need to rehab that tank too?
Well, as far as rehabbing the tank, this is one of the next 2 from age of rehab that would be needed to be painted. So we'll need to do a full painting on this tank the next time we put out a tank paint contract, but we don't want to wait for that to occur. And also, with our most recent tank painting contract, what we determined is to try to get only the painting in that contract and not any additional maintenance work associated with the projects.
And Southern Corrosion a little bit,
Yes, by about $50,000.
but they're in the paint business too, aren't they?
Yes, sir, they are. You can kind of see one of them here where it's starting to, that black spot there is material that is missing.
How old is this tank?
Oh, that's 50s, 60s era, I'm going to guess over there. Late 60s, maybe.
Okay. Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor, raise your right hand. The motion carries 3-0. Thank you. Next item is the Canby Creek Aeration Basin Mixer Component. Mr. Brown?
Yes, sir. So we utilize mixers to assist with oxygen transfer and to make sure the solids stay in suspension throughout the aeration basins. Each mixer has a gearbox with a shaft attached to the gearbox, and those shafts have blades that rotate like a fan and move the water around. AB1 has 12 mixers. ABs 2 and 3 have 4 mixers each. AB1 gearbox 8 failed and was sent to K Machine to look at repairing the gearbox. The quote to repair the gearbox is $43,570. Again, given the cost of the repair, we requested a quote to replace the gearbox, and a new one from the manufacturer is $25,532. The new gearbox can be delivered in approximately 50 days. They do give us an option to pay a significant adder if we need it in less time than that. They can get it in 2 weeks if we want to pay 50% more, but I think we'll wait the 50 days to get the gearbox. And then also, when we cleaned out AB2 the last time, we're cleaning out one aeration basin a year over the winter. We noted that AB2 aerator 1, the shaft and blades the blades have broken off the shaft, and the shaft is warped and needs to be replaced. So we got quotes from the same provider to provide a replacement shaft and blades for the mixer, and the quote for the new shaft and blades is $41,994. The reason we're going ahead and requesting this now, we are planning to take that basin offline in November. This is to allow for the manufacturer of the shaft and the blades and for them to ship it so that work can be completed while the AB is down in November. So this is planning ahead for that. So the total cost for the two items, which is one gearbox and one shaft replacement for two separate mixers, $67,526.
Can I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move the Facilities Committee recommend approving the purchase of one gearbox and one aerator shaft for Academy Creek water production, waste production from Rogers Turner and Associates in the amount of $67,526.
Second.
So here's a schematic of the actual mixer itself. So the gearbox on top, and there's two sets of blades or impellers, depending on what they want to call it. So when we pulled out this mixer, the shaft is warped and there are no blades on either set. So it's just a shaft spinning in the water right now. I say there's no blades. There's about a foot that has not broke off on either side, so it's not doing a whole lot.
Where's the rest of the blades?
They were found in the bottom of the tank, sir.
Okay.
Not sure how long they had been there.
Okay. Any questions? If not, all in favor? Motion carries 3-0. Next item is the equipment purchase, Academy Creek aeration. No, that's not the city. Next one is equipment purchase
Yes.
distribution system, pressure monitors. Mr. Burris.
Yes, sir. So, as you know, we operate three separate distribution systems, and currently our system pressures are monitored at our elevated storage tanks, or if there's not an elevated storage tank in the immediate vicinity of a well, there are local pressure transducers near the well sites. That gives us a great deal of success. However, we want to be able to improve our pressure monitoring to allow for us to be more proactive in identifying issues in the system, and when there is an issue, to be able to narrow down our search area. So we also take into account that we operate over 160 pump stations throughout Glynn County, and each of those pump stations has a water meter with a backflow preventer on it. So this idea is for us to purchase water pressure transducers and all the fittings and conduit necessary in order to put real-time pressure transducers on all of our sewer pumping stations on the water connection. And again, there's backflows, so no concerns in that regard. And we'll be able to generate a real-time pressure map throughout the system, and we'll be able to note where we're starting to see issues at, to be proactive in identifying leaks, determining where valves may be left off after valve maintenance projects, or for future planning purposes where we need potential increases in pressure and fire flows. So this is a listed organizational goal in the FY27 budget, and we would be doing all the work in-house. This is to buy the transducers from USA Blue Book, the surge suppression and optical isolation equipment from Gray Bar, and the conduit and fittings from World Electric in the total amount of $41,841.03. There will also be between $5,000 and $6,000 of additional items that would be purchased out of our warehouse and charged to the project in order to complete this work. But labor will be installed in-house with this. Give an example today. We were talking about it before the meeting. We were noticing our pressures dropped a little bit, not significantly, but our pressures dropped about 5 psi in the city of Brunswick system overnight, and we had people scattering around trying to find where we might have a leak at. Well, when you're trying to go across the entire city of Brunswick system, that's a pretty major area to try to find a leak, but if you had these on, say, every other pump station throughout the city, you'd be able to shrink that area down significantly so we can find leaks quicker. So this is so be a helpful project for us moving forward. So the request is we purchase the components as outlined for $41,841.03.
Can I have a motion?
Yes, sir. I'll move that the Facilities Committee recommend approving the purchase of the components for installation of a water distribution remote pressure monitoring system as shown in the amount of $41,841.03.
Second.
Motion and second. Any questions?
This will be
Andrew? Will this be continuous monitoring?
Yes, sir. This will be real-time, 24/7 monitoring, and this will be, all of the actual integration will occur as a portion of our ongoing water production SCADA project that we're doing. So we can get these installed, and while they're doing the project, they will go ahead and do the integration for all of these transducers. So we'll be able to pull up a map of real-time pressures throughout the system.
And will they send an alarm when the pressure gets too low?
Yes, sir. We will be able to set specific conditions where alarms are sent.
All right, any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Motion carries 3-0. Thank you. Next item is dedication of infrastructure and easements. Mr. Klein.
All right, Commissioners, thank you again. There are two items on this dedication memo here. First one being Covington Point, second one being McKenzie Gardens. Give a little bit of detail on each one of these. First one is Covington Point, up 341 towards Sterling. And that is a multi-phased residential development. In the packet is a map, it's a little snapshot showing the location of this phase 3B. And this dedication, I'll point out, is for water only. The sewer is staying private, and the reason being, this project is many years old, and this gravity collection system in this phase is upstream of a currently private pump station. Now, the developer does intend to eventually bring that up to joint water and sewer standards and dedicate that, but for now, the collection system above the pump station and the collection system above the pump station are going to remain private. So public right-of-ways, public roads in here. That is Covington Point Phase 3B, and that phase alone will bring an additional 40 residential homes to the system. And we're going to hope everybody packed a lunch. We're going to travel many miles up the road to what is known as McKenzie Gardens, which is just around the corner on McKenzie Lane. And that project is all the infrastructure, the multi-phase project, at least two phases, but all infrastructure was installed, water and sewer infrastructure was installed with the initial phase, and that's what this is here. It's a dedication of 1,500 foot of water and 1,600 foot of sewer, and this will also add 28 new residential homes to the joint water and sewers rolls.
Those 28 are just in phase 1, not
Correct.
potential lots in phase 2.
Correct. Thank you for that clarification. Yes. So in phase 1, it's adding 28. There'll be several more, at least that many on the additional phase. And I'm happy to answer any further questions on this or go through GIS to show you exactly where these guys are. Covington Point, like we said, just a little south of the Sterling intersection with 99. That is Covington Point right here. That development started in the early aughts or middle aughts, 2005 or so. And then right around the corner is McKenzie Gardens right here. And Glynn County wrapped up a really nice reroute of McKenzie Drive through here, which gave a little bit, definitely improved the access to these residential developments and the existing homeowners throughout that area, and the park. So, and the school. I would say it improved access.
Probably improved access
Ingress,
for the
egress.
school quite a lot.
Yeah, for the school there as well. So, and there's a recommended motion.
Can I have a motion to accept these?
Mr. Chairman, I move the Facilities Committee recommend full commission accept this infrastructure with associated easements as applicable.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Motion carries. Reading that at the time.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Commissioners.
We'll move to the discussion section, water production report, Mr. Burns.
Yes, sir. The month of July was a very high water use month for us. It's the highest we've had in the last 2 years. Average daily production across all three of our systems was over 9.6 million gallons. And metered was nearly 9 million, 8.9 million gallons metered per day across all three systems. Total unaccounted for, very much in line with where we've been the last 4 months, 7.41%. So we're starting to see some fairly consistent numbers month to month on the water unaccounted for numbers percentage-wise. But on the mainland system, we did have a little bit, the Howard Coffin Park project was ongoing for the drainage improvements, the Living Shoreline project the City of Brunswick was doing, and we had to do some water line rerouting and relocations to accommodate that project. So Howard Coffin was off for the vast majority of the month. And as a result, you see some different flow patterns. We did find a bit of a set point issue at Brunswick-Glynn that was causing it to be the primary one that was running, which was not what we wanted. But that has been corrected moving forward. So for the Brunswick system for the month, we produced just shy of 5.5 million gallons for the month, and 5.1 was metered within the system. So 7% unaccounted for the month in Brunswick, and you see water use remains consistently following seasonal patterns year to year. So we're seeing slight increases in water usage in different areas, but nothing drastic as we see our system grow from mostly residential growth. St. Simon's Island for the month, 3.7 MGD daily average production. 3 of the wells producing over 1 million gallons each for the month, and 3.4 being metered on St. Simon's for the month. A lot more irrigation has went in across St. Simon's getting on our system. We have noticed, particularly on the north end, an increase in demand for irrigation in the early parts of the morning that we've had to make some adjustments on the way we control our system that we've got ahead of. But 8% unaccounted for St. Simon's for the month. And then the South Mainland average about 400,000 gallons a day, 3.5% unaccounted for on the South Mainland system. Fairly well balanced for the month. Brookman is going to, usually because it responds to the tank the quickest, pick up the most of the slack. Really looking forward to getting the Exit 29 well online and seeing how that's going to change the flow patterns down there. But puts us in good shape for the future at Exit 29 as we near completion of that project. So all in all, a high usage month, but nothing outside of the realm of normal for us. So smooth sailing mostly on the water system for the month.
Any questions? That's a good report. Okay, let's move to the wastewater.
Yes, sir. Academy Creek for the month, 8.4 million gallons a day. Did have an exceedance on the monthly ammonia, as I've mentioned in previous months. With the current setup on the clarifiers, we are operating at a very narrow operational window, and 1 or 2 decisions can cause a day or two to be way out of whack and cause us to have issues. Still, though, parts per million, only 2 going out for the month for ammonia, which is well below where we were before, but staff has had to take some additional measures trying to get the numbers back where they need to be. But we still removed 99% BOD and TSS for the month. It was a fairly dry month, as you would expect with the water usage that we saw before. Only just shy of 3 inches of rain. Month of August is shaping up to be significantly wetter. But the other thing I will note, the dryer was down for the most of the month, so you see sludge tons to the landfill quite a bit higher with the dryer not running, almost 400 tons from Academy going to the landfill. And just as in round figures, it's $100 a ton at the landfill. So you're looking at, that was a $40,000 month for Academy Creek at the landfill. So the dryer makes a huge difference on our cost.
Any questions? Andrews, is the drought fixed now?
It is running now. It was running yesterday. I've not spoken with them today. I would not like to commit myself without up-to-date information. It was running yesterday, though. Dunbar Creek for the month, 3.3 million gallons a day. Plant operating very successfully, even at slightly elevated flows for the summer, as you might expect. Across the board, everything doing well. 98% BOD, 98.5% TSS removal. Plant going along very consistently. We do think the month of August, we've seen a slight reduction in flows. I've notified the commissioners that we had a line collapse on site. We had installed bypass equipment, and we found quite a bit of water coming in through that collapsed line that was getting in the system, groundwater. So when they dug down on the line, they did not have to de-water until they got to about 12 feet deep. So we had drained an awful lot of groundwater through that collapsed section of pipe. So those numbers theoretically will be lower, even though it'll be a wetter month for the month of August, unless we get a significant amount of rain the last couple of weeks of the month. So
Have we ever thought about smoke testing or televising those lines at the plant?
we have televised them again. Now all the lines from the wet well back to the headworks have been replaced. Last week they were supposed to televise the line coming off of Sea Island Road all the way into the plant to confirm what kind of condition it is in. It's a little bit more challenging to televise those lines because of the amount of flow in there relative to what we normally televise, so they have to put it on a raft and float it in order to do that because we can't stop the flow. But I haven't got an update on what those images look like, but I will look into that. Southport for the month, right at 515,000 gallons a day at Southport. We are starting to see some more consistently higher BODs and TSS at the plant as we're getting more residential and commercial customers on. The port provides a good deal of flow down at the plant, but they have a very low strength waste coming from those car washes, so the residential waste really helps the influent concentrations there. But 98.5% BOD, 98% TSS removal for the month. Very standard month at Southport. So things are moving well at that facility. Still working on getting the second train rehab so that we may swap over. But with the current flow rate, the one train is serving us well.
Any questions? Good report, Andrew. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And we have the capital project report, Todd.
All right, thank you, Chairman, thank you, Commissioners. This is the progress report, or picture report, I like to call it, of our capital projects that are in motion out in the field, and we will move through these quickly, but if you have any questions, please do ask. First project to look at is Exit 42, elevated storage tank, still in progress. Essentially, the pillar or the riser there is complete. The concrete portion there essentially structurally complete. Wait for the steel team to show up, and they're going to weld that bowl around the bottom, just like on the Exit 29 elevated tank down there, and raise that guy up in the same fashion. And
Have we got an idea when they're going to come do that?
The last update, Chairman, we got was that their steel team would arrive here at the end of this month, and that was a few months ago. And we we're looking for them to confirm that schedule. All right, you can see a lot of activity going around in this area. Of course, Buc-ee's, and then also in this, look at the overhead shot facing southbound on I-95. Phase 2 next door of the Hill Point warehouse going in. Amazon neighbors to the north. And then also this picture right here, I'd like to show you this last one. Right next, happening adjacent to our tank site. Joint Water Sewer Commission has a 40-foot easement that runs through here. We have water mains and gravity and force mains going through there now. And as part of the off-site infrastructure improvements that the Altama Plantation project is doing. Private work. They're boring underneath I-95 with a force main extension. And that force main will serve another purpose in the future. If the North Mainland Treatment Plant comes about, that'll be utilized to reroute a lot of flow back this direction to the plant. So
They got the casing in already, is that my understanding?
casing is practically in. They're poked up on the other side. Well, excuse me. Their pilot hole is in. They have not pulled casing back.
No, they pulled the reamer back, but they
Yeah,
haven't put the, okay.
right. They're working on the pilot hole and reaming it back. You can imagine underneath an active interstate, they call it limited access. It's a unique permit with DOT. A lot of eyes on that, a lot of care being taken. Their subcontractor, Valancourt's subcontractor, is TB Landmark. All right, next project. Back down to exit 29, our Division 1 water production facility, our well site and ground storage tank, nearing completion down there. A little bit of site work left, a little bit of final work around the site. You can see here around the well site. Just a reminder, that was an existing well that was rehabbed, so practically a new to us well. Contractor, engineer, team meeting on site there. Very good looking facility. Looking for a startup call here soon. That is a shared site with the Exit 29 wastewater control facility down there. So a lot of coordination with operations staff throughout the project. And we're hoping to see this one wrap up here in the next month or so. All right, next one, another part of that development improvement going down there at Exit 29 is Division 2, our elevated storage tank. A good UAV shot of that from above facing northward along I-95. Coordination with Georgia Power for the service. This is the, now there's, concrete's been placed inside here, but the conduit layout you see, so the floor, concrete placement coming soon after. That's been done. This is looking up the entrance road here, and this shared access with Glynn County, because Glynn County goes back there and has a lot of maintenance on storm drainage. Major storm ditch back here, and very important to Glynn County's stormwater management system. And so Glynn County also accesses this, so it's really important for us to improve this road, which is part of the project, the tank site project. And we had a little bit of a encroachment here on the side with a neighbor that's been remedied. And now we got our full width access open back up again. All right.
That tank be started up.
Chairman, we're hoping no later than next month. We're hoping to see that thing, wrapped up. It's they're down to the concrete, electrical, finished site work, that type of thing. So we're getting close, really close.
Is that it?
A couple more projects here. So Howard Coffin Park, Mr. Burrows mentioned earlier, cooperative project with the city, and the reason that we're cooperative with the cities there, we had some erosion issues that were affecting some of our crossings that cross the tidal ditch here, and also the erosion was backing up into our Howard Coffin water production facility site here, actually undermining the fence. And so as part of the city's permit they acquired, we piggybacked with them, teamed up, so we could replace some of these crossings, and that's exactly what happened. We do have a remaining crossing happening here. A lot of water distribution did a lot of in-house work for outside of the city's construction limits to make this happen. We got a much improved water loop system in here now. Valving is much improved, and we've eliminated the major water crossings that were across that tidal ditch and exposed. And the last remaining crossing we have here, you can see an example of what it looks like, and got a good picture here showing the marsh rack stacked up behind the crossing. That's what happens. And this is a casing that goes across actually with a 4-inch force main that comes from a pump station up here. And this is going to be replaced as well underneath the contract. It's outside the scope of limits for, or the limits of construction for the city's project, but we're still doing this underneath their Coastal Resources Division permitting, their DNR permit. So that's 4-inch force main. That'll go under And when that force mains are rerouted underneath the ditch, this will be demoed and removed. Okay, last one here, Academy Creek Clarify Rehab.
Yes, no, not a lot of field work has occurred on the Academy Creek project. We have ordered the clarifier mechanisms. They have come down and done a LiDAR scan of the internals of clarifier 2. And then we're scheduling to get clarifier 3 or 4 LiDAR'd in the next couple of weeks as they're going through that process to confirm all their measurements. Looking at likely first of the year before we have anything significant from a progress perspective on site.
All right, thank you, Mr. Burris. Okay, that concludes our report. The detailed spreadsheet is attached as well with all the projects that are funded, listed. And
A couple of updates. We have the kickoff for the 3103-4119 project with Garney for Phase 1 services. That's a fast-moving project. It's been good to see the traction we've got on that. We're narrowing down to what we believe will be final routing of both of those force mains, and looking to probably have something a little more refined to you sometime maybe before Thanksgiving, but definitely by the end of the year on that project. And then the water production, SCADA, and electrical improvement project, we should be getting a Phase 2 proposal sometime in the month of September. We're getting very close on that. They did a bunch of grounding testing to confirm that everything was properly grounded. A couple of small issues were determined in that, particularly out on some of the sandier areas of St. Simons. The grounding was not sufficient because it's just permeating the sand out there. So we're had to drive some extra ground rods while we're on site, but overall that project's moving along smoothly. We are in the process of updating all of the necessary instrumentation I/O and set points into a system they want us to input that information in, so it makes their process smoother. So staff is going through that project right now.
Okay, is that it?
Yes, sir.
Good meeting.
thank you, Commissioners. Thank you, Chair.
Anybody have any other comments? Questions?
No?
Okay, I'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn. Yep. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you.